All right, everybody, welcome to the call today. This is Scott Pierce at Listings to Leads, and we're going to be going over just sold marketing with listings to leads and how to use those just sold listings that you've got either as a listing agent or a selling agent to get more settled leads. So if you can, go ahead and type in where you're coming in from. So give me your state and your brokerage so I can get a feel for where we are all at. And let me know, when is the last time you had a just sold listing? Do you have one currently? So if you got a current just sold listing, or even in the last couple of months, this would be a great webinar to leverage those listings to get more listings for you. So go ahead and type in. So Kim, California, awesome. Good to see you. And do you have a recent or a current just sold listing? And I'm thinking, anytime in the last couple of months, you might be a new client with listings to leads, or you may have been the selling agent. So your buyer bought that listing. You can still add it to your listings to leads account and generate seller leads. So as a listing agent, as a selling agent, this would be a great call for you. If you got a pending listing, you're going to want to pay attention and learn from this as well, because similar to the just sold, the pending is absolutely amazing as well. And it's kind of similar. And then that way, when the listing is closed escrow, you can take advantage of all the things that you learned in this call today and make sure you're going to leverage that beautifully. All right, David, awesome. I have a listing closing on Friday. Absolutely awesome. Good to hear that. Perfect, David. Oh my God, David, how long have you been a client for? God, I feel like you've been a client for years. So good to see you, David. I love to see our new clients, but I love to see our old clients as well. Absolutely awesome. And David, so he's got a listing closing on Friday. So David, this would be perfect for you. And David, you've been with a client for so long. I'm sure that you've done some of this before. So I'm very honored that you're with me today. For someone that is such a great marketer like Dave, to have you on the call today, absolutely awesome. Cindy, so there was an issue with the AI text follow-up. They made it live for everybody that had never done like used it before. So they made it so that if you're trying to reactivate it, it was going to come in at full price. We are fixing that, so that should be at half off again very shortly. David says several years. I think it's been more than several years, but at least several years. So yeah, exactly. So with that, let's get into it. So if you're not a Listings to Leads client, go ahead and log into your account. All of this you can do with a free trial. And let me just say, first of all, that one of the best ways to generate seller leads is generating buyer leads. And we've seen this definitely over the last few months with a few clients that we're working with. Advertise, doing open houses and advertising listings for sale. We're seeing that half of the leads coming in are typically where they own a home. And so one client in particular that I'm working with out of Florida, he's had several listing appointments off of ads that are for sale. So as those leads are coming in, right, he's able to use in listings to leads on the lead detail page. There's a more button. You can search their email on Google, search their phone on Google. Oftentimes you're going to find that they own a home. And so approach them and look up your buyer leads. All right. And if you find that they own a home, make sure you touch base with them on that regard as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that maybe also. So John Miro, awesome. Good to see you. All right. Good. Columbus, Ohio, Keller Williams, Minnesota. Perfect. All right. Good to see everybody. And I think we got a lot of people logged on now. So let's get started. I'm going to go to the listings dashboard. And real quickly, if you don't have your listing that you want to market as just sold in your account yet, because once a listing is sold, we can't bring it in from a data feed. You cannot use the grab feature to get it. So you're going to have to go add listing, manual. And this is also true, for example, if you are the selling agent, so your buyer bought the property, you're going to want to add it to listings to leads. And you can do that as just sold selling agent. And then you're going to see here, just sold listing agent. So either way, we will flip the language around that listing and around all the marketing, depending on if you're the selling or listing agent. So if you're the listing agent, we're going to talk about the fact that you got the property sold with your 100% home marketing plan and so on, that you represented the seller. If you are the selling agent, so that means your buyer bought the property, then we're going to flip that language to represent the fact that you represented the buyer. So either way, you want to leverage both. All right. This is so fantastic. So click listing agent, add in the information here. All right. So I got the street, city. It should literally take you not even 5 minutes if you need to do this. All right. Copy and paste in your property description, click save and add photos, add your photos. As always, even if you got regular active listings, let's get those professional photos in there. If you got any videos, 3D tours, anything like that, you can add those as well. And then that will drop the listing right on your Listings to Leads dashboard. And it will look like this. And you'll see I've got 2 listings that are just sold. If I scroll down, all right, give me a second there. Let's try that again. Sometimes I touch my touchpad and it blows up my screen. So here we go. So if I scroll, you're going to see here. So that is just sold as a selling agent. So again, that's when I represented the buyer. Just sold listing agent, and that's where I represented the seller. And so if I click on market listing, you're going to see we got the checklist. We've got the step-by-step guide. These are both fantastic resources if you need them, especially if you're newer. You might want to take a look at the checklist. It's just going to walk down everything that's on here, and same with the step-by-step guide. So I'm going to click on this. You can also access this by going to listingstoleads.com/just sold. So any status you want to market, listingstoleads.com/coming soon, just listed, open house, pending, just sold. You'll find these playbooks for every status by using those URLs. And so you're going to see here, all right, we're going to talk through just sold marketing. And one of the first things I'm going to mention is I change the property description. So the normal property description is talking about the specific home itself, right? Big, beautiful property, corner lot, updated kitchen, all that great stuff that you're going to include. But when my listing goes pending, and especially when it sells, check out what I do. So as just sold listing agent, there's my single property website, and notice what is normally the property description is now me talking about how I got this home sold. So there's a little bit about the property still here, of course, because I do want people to understand that we still got the, a great property, but we are surrounding it with information about how we got that property sold. All right. So we talk about our 100% home marketing plan, how it got over 50,000 views on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and that while some homes are taking longer to sell, we generated 45 buyer leads. All right, 12 showings, 2 offers, and a final sales price and date that meets the homeowner's goals. I could have put in, that we sold it for higher than the Zillow's estimate. We sold it for the most price, the highest price per square foot. So whatever's appropriate based on the success that you had marketing that listing or getting that listing sold, we want to add that in here. So again, you can access this so you can use it later. Just go to listingstoleads.com/just sold, and then you'll see this near the top of that page. And then here, I talk about if you're thinking about selling your home, how our 100% home marketing plan can help you and how we help get Folsom homes sold for top dollar as fast as possible. And then you're going to see, and I'll come back to this video in a minute. And if I scroll down past the 3D or the Matterport there, you're going to see this is automatically in all of your single property websites. So you've got, even if you've never seen it before, you might be a new client and you haven't even looked at this yet, but you've got a 100% home marketing plan in your Listings to Leads account ready for you to start using. You can even create these for specific listings where every image in that plan is of the specific property that you're doing a listing presentation for, that you're doing an expired. We got it for FSBO as well. And if you look at the one for selling agent, I'm going to click on that. And here I got a great video, of course. And here now you're going to see how we represented the buyer. And now I'm talking about how I've got 24 more buyers looking for a home in Folsom. And I want to call that out, because as I'm doing the marketing for my just sold listings, whether it's a listing agent or a selling agent, it's going to be mostly homeowners that are going to be seeing it. And in particular, homeowners in the Folsom area. And so whether I was the listing agent and I want to talk about my 100-point home marketing plan and how I got that property sold, or I'm the selling agent and I brought the buyer in, I want to leverage that as well. And so here, what I did is I just looked at my CRM. I looked at how many buyers I've got for the area. So that could have been 124. That could have been 336. But I want to convey to all the homeowners in the area that I've got a lot more buyers. All right. So I've got a lot more buyers ready to show their home to if they're thinking about selling it. So again, take a look at this. Even though I didn't represent the seller and I'm not the one that marketed the property to get it sold, I still have a 100-point home marketing plan. All right. So in addition to the fact that I've got more qualified buyers that I can show their home to and get their home sold to, I've also got a 100-point home marketing plan to make sure that we get them top dollar above and beyond whatever leads I currently have. So take a look at that. I will also point out here, if you've got any kind of video where you're talking about how you can get homes sold in your area, so it might be a general video where you're talking about how you get homes sold in Folsom and your 100-point home marketing plan and so on, you can add that to listings to leads. And you can also do that at a listing level as well. So if you get a property sold, so David, you got a home sold this Friday, I would think about putting together a video that is you talking about. In fact, I would go in front of the property and I would record a video, and then you can upload that into listings to leads so that as people get to your single property website or your virtual tour, they're going to see your beautiful, bright, shiny face. They're going to be able to, if you do the description like I mentioned here, all right, they're going to be able to read a little bit about either as a selling or the listing agent. But even more powerful, they're going to be able to hear from you specifically about how you got that home sold. And one of the great ways of converting leads, for example, right, is sending a video text, because when people are able to see you, hear you, the familiarity with you is so much tighter. All right, is so much more powerful. All right, versus just an email follow up or a text follow up or even a phone call. All right, so a video text we have found is one of the best ways to start converting leads faster. And so putting a video here where you're actually speaking to these homeowners in the area about how you got the property sold, either as a listing agent or as a selling agent, can go a long, long way. All right. So I'm going to close this. Again, go to listingstoleads.com/just sold. You can access all of this right here. And what I'm going to do, and we're going to come back to this a little bit later, but if I click on edit, you're going to see here we have a section called sections, and you could even put it under videos. So if you don't have a current video, like a property video with your listing, you could take that video that you record, the one I just referred to. If it's on YouTube, drop in the YouTube link right here. If you got the video file, you can upload the video file right there, and then you can place it wherever you want. And this is true with all of this stuff. All right. So if I've got, let's say I did that video. In fact, here's that video. So I uploaded a video, and then I can move it around so that it's right near the top. I don't want it to be at the bottom. I want it to be near the top. So if you do this strategy and you do the video, you put it in like I showed you, it may appear somewhere down on the list. Move it up, just click and drag it. And you could even put it here. So I'll show you what that looks like. So if I move my video right to the top, and now I click on, let's see. Oh, I thought that would, I put it there. So let's see, 100-point home marketing plan, 3D2. Sorry, marketing your home. That's the one. So that's the video I did right there. And now when I look at this, I think, all right, well, whatever it is I'm doing wrong, you can put, just like a property video, you can put that video right at the top there. So again, if you have any questions on that, get into the mastermind group or ping me in the mastermind group and I'll help you out with that. Because again, having a video will just really help get people to identify with you, get to know you better, and really help convert and engage leads at a higher level. All right, with that, if you have any questions on that, let me know. Is there a limit to the size of the video? Great question. For the video upload, there might be, but if the video is on YouTube, then no, because you just put the YouTube link in there and the video sits on YouTube and we display it in Listings to Leads, but it's not like you uploaded a video per se. If you're going to upload a video, I think there is, and maybe get with support on that. But you're not going to, even if it's a 5-minute video, I don't think there's any problem, even if you upload that file. But keep in mind, not many people are going to watch a video more than a few minutes long. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. But get a good what am I trying to say here? The what you're going to say in the video, record it, and then again, and I would put it on YouTube, right? That's a great YouTube video for you. And then that way, when you put the link in, you'll have no problem. It should be very, very easy for you. All right. Yep. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Dee, for the question. That's a great question. So here we're going to start out with a Facebook and Instagram ad. We want to let everybody know about the fact that we just got this home sold. And before I post it, I can click edit. And for just sold, I do like to do this. So it's just sold above the Zillow Zestimate in 34 days with offers. So that could be a great thing to add in there to make it a little bit more specific about how you got that property sold. If nothing else, so David, let me know. So for example, can we use just sold on a team? Michael, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if you've got a team, and we do have team accounts, right? But you can use, I would think any listing as part of your team, as long as you got permission to market it, it's on your team, I would think you're good to go. But Michael, if you have any more questions specifically on that, do let me know as well. But let's just say, even as nothing else, maybe it was a 90-day listing and it sold for the asking price. And, there's not a lot to necessarily brag about. There still is. So you can say, with our 100 plus point home marketing plan that generated over 10,000 views on social media, thousands of views to our exclusive list of buyers. All right. So again, just putting a little bit more color to this so that it's, even if it's generic, you're going to do fine. But I like to add just a little bit more in there for the just sold. I don't necessarily want to make a massive paragraph with it, but if you want to try out different things, you can totally do that. So that would be for the text. The image, the thing I always say about the image is make sure that you're not using the first 4 images where they're all the front of the home. So if you need to edit this at all, click on change template. And here you're going to see now, all right, we got 21 different templates here. You can use your Canva images. If you got an image in Canva that you want to use, you can totally do that. If you got a video, you could use the video here as well. For lead generation, I prefer this template though, right here. This template is one of the best templates because it shows off the property beautifully. It's going to, people can see very quickly a little bit about the property itself, however many more photos that you've got right there. And then I want them to see my video. Actually, I want them to see that in the single property website. But you can play around with it and try different things and see what works best for you. But if you need to change the images in this template, go ahead and click on edit. And now, and again, this is where it comes up where mostly you'll see the first 4 images are all of the front of the house sometimes. And once I edit this once, I won't need to edit it again. So if you've already edited this when it was, for example, as just listed or open house, and you change the status to just sold, those same images will carry forward. So it's not going to reset or anything. So you can see here, I can select a different image. I can insert it. And that way I got 4 great images in my template. And I can just close this because I'm not making any edits. I just wanted to show you that. I can also change the color of the banner right here. I can even change the text. So again, if I click edit, you're going to see here, there's a little editor right in the banner. So I can change this text, change that text if I wanted to. I can change the color, make a little bit more contrast maybe. In fact, I've done it before where I've ran an ad and the ad was okay. It wasn't producing leads at a great cost per lead. I came in and I changed the color because the blue, it wasn't blue in the case of the actual ad that I did, but this color here blended in a lot with the image itself. So between the house and the landscaping and everything and the color that the agent selected, it was kind of blended in a little bit. And so we changed it to red actually. And the cost per lead went down 30%. I thought that was kind of interesting. So keep that in mind. I struggle changing the pictures there. Yeah, Gene, it should be pretty straightforward. Like I said, just click change template, select the different images. You should be good to go. If you need any help, get with our support team and they can help you out with that as well. Now, the only other thing here is we're going to do location, all right, in the area of the listing. So that's going to make sure that we target all the people that live there, all the people coming through there, plus 15 miles, special housing ad category with Facebook. We got a lifetime budget. You can alternate between lifetime and daily, but I like lifetime. And I would, $50 for seller leads. If you figure seller leads with just sold come in at probably $8 to $10 each, you want to spend a little bit more money. So $50 I would think is a bare minimum. But I would go just like I do for the buyer ads. I want to do a $50 minimum. For seller ads, I want to do probably between $50 and $100. So if you've got the budget for it, I would pump that up a little bit. We got a start and end date for 1 week. Now you can retarget. So if you've got a database of current leads, you got your Facebook. Now, if you got your Facebook pixel, that'll happen automatically if you got that set up. But you could also retarget. So I could say website visitors to my website. And then under advanced options, you're going to see here that my Facebook pixel is already there. So as long as you've got your Facebook pixel set up in listings to leads, that will attach itself to all of your ads so that you're always taking advantage of that retargeting as well. And then just click create ad. Summa means retarget in the same ad and location. Yeah, so great. Really good question there. If I use location and retargeting, it'll just retarget those people in that location. If I want to retarget just everybody in my audience, I would not use location. So a great question to clarify that just a little bit. And then again, if I use location only, it's going to just show it to that location. All right. Do you set the no? But you can get with our support team, and they can help you out with that. You just grab your Facebook pixel, drop it into listings to leads once, and then it's going to attach itself to everything automatically for you. All right. But yeah, definitely get with our support team if you need to. Is it possible to add custom audience I've created through L to L? So DC. I don't know. So when you do a custom audience, if you go to, no, let's just go to ads real quickly here. I'm going to open up a new tab so we don't lose where we're at. But on the ads page, and you'll see this in a few other places within Listings to Leads, create audience, and you can upload a CSV file. So if you have a list of people that you want to see your ad, it's going to have to be probably 1,000 contacts. I've heard of people being able to do it with less, but Facebook, I believe their information talks about 1,000 or more. So I can name the audience right here, and I can just say, my home owner leads. Maybe I say Folsom. So maybe I get a list of Folsom homeowners, and from Redx, from My Plus Leads in a CSV file, I can upload them here, and you're going to see the format: email, number, first name, last name. So just 4 columns. You upload it. We send it to Facebook. They create the custom audience. It can take anywhere from a couple of hours to a week. Really depends on Facebook and the API and how they're working it. But then once that audience is live, then you can actually start using it and start targeting ads to it. Yep. So DC, I think the best thing to do is just update your file and then re-upload it. What I would do is I would re-upload the updated file with the same name, and that way you don't get 2 custom audiences, but you got one now with all of the contacts that you want in it. All right. Hopefully that made sense. Michael, can you create a landing page for a non-listed? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, real quickly here, I'll just show you one more thing before we get back to just sold. I don't want to get too far afield, but that is a great question. So when you go to add listing, now if it's in your MLS or a data feed, it should be able to come in automatically. But let's say you're wholesaling. So you could do auction. We've got, I feel like a non-MLS listing. All right. And yeah, so auction, non-MLS listing. And then you can also here always customize that banner or the status banner. So I could say, you wouldn't, this is not what you would do wholesale, but I'm just, so you can see that, right? So now wholesale investing. So instead of doing just listed or coming soon or open house, you can have a custom banner representing the fact that you're doing wholesale investment. All right. Hopefully that will make sense, and hopefully that helps. Let me know if not. All right. So we did a little bit of an aside there. Let me just show you. If I click view, this could take a few minutes to get live. So if you click it right away, but we're going to just take a look at what that Facebook ad looks like. This is a Facebook lead ad. It's going to capture name, email, phone number, and selling time frame. So here's the ad right there. You can see those are those edits that we just made. And when people click this, the Facebook lead form is going to come up. It's going to have them with a drop down of what is their time frame to sell their home. They're going to select just thinking 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and so on. The next page, they go name, email, phone number. They click through to the single property website, and that's where they can see all the great items there. So, on your single property website, again, by default, you got your 100% marketing plan. If you change the language of the property description, obviously that will appear. If you do the video like I talked about, that will be there. So, it is a absolute beautiful little repository of all the communication that you would want to have if you could with a homeowner face to face, right? Imagine, if you had a homeowner that you're able to talk to, right? You'd want to tell them about how you got the property sold, right? Both in video would be great, and text would be great. You want to show them all the great marketing you did for the property. So if you did a property video, your professional photos, you did a 3D tour, all of that can be put into your single property website with Listings to Leads, and all of your client reviews. So all of your client reviews are in the single property website. So think your Zillows, your testimonial tree, your Google, all of those reviews come in automatically. You can add reviews from other sources as well. So that just so the website becomes just one of the best marketing platforms to be able to talk from one to many right? It's going to be kind of hard for you to talk to 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 homeowners one to one. But when you do the advertising and the marketing using listings to leads and you have your single property website set up, you're going to have just amazing results with it. All right, so we did the Facebook and Instagram ad. I will turn that off. Next up is the social media post. So this is just the social media post. This will be to your Facebook page, your Instagram, your TikTok, not TikTok, excuse me, Google, X, and so on. It looks like this. Again, I can edit this similar to what we did with the ad. And if I take a look at it, all right, so again, this could be edited same as the ad that we did so that people get more information. And just right from the post itself. Now we got a lot more things for social media. This is just the automated post, right? And there, right, like we talked about before, we got our video, 3D tour. All right, this is why I don't want to send people like this to my IDX. Your IDX does not have the capability to put this much great marketing where we're able to speak one-to-many to people like your Listings to Leads single property website. So take advantage of it, all right? Leverage the tools in Listings to Leads, not only for your outbound marketing, but also as a repository to put in, to really brag about how awesome you are as a listing agent. Next up is a request for review. So if you don't have if you don't have like testimonial tree, or you don't have something set up to get reviews coming in, you can use this tool right here. All you do is you put in the seller's email address. Everything else is set up. Now I can customize this if I want to, but let me show you. If I click send test email and I go to my email here, let me just refresh my browser. Give me a second. There we go. I will bring it over. So this is a great email to send to the seller. All right, dear Ian, I want to thank you, blah, 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 blah. And they click the link here. It'll open up in my other browser, of course, because that's where the email is. But here we go. And now the seller can leave a review for me. And I'll show you a little bit later in this call, so it won't get too far afield again, but it will drop in Listings to Leads. You'll see here there's a tab called Client Reviews, and that review will drop in there as a draft. It'll let you know that you got a review. You can go in there and you can approve it, and it will display in the single property website, the virtual tour, all the other tools, and your client review website as well. So a great way to get more reviews if you need it. Next up is share on seller social media. So these two tools right here are paired together. So it's the social media post we want on the seller's page, and there's an e-flyer as well. So again, as a listing agent, as a selling agent, you want to do this. This is absolutely so powerful. This is one of the tools that I probably see used the least by new clients, but the clients that use it, once they start using it and they see the benefit and the results from it, they absolutely love it. Because once this is on the seller's Facebook page, and we hope it's on the seller's Facebook page all the way through the transaction. So hopefully you use this as, when it was just listed, when you had an open house, when it went pending, right? And especially, of course, when it's just sold, because we want to show off to the seller, to the seller's friends, their family, their colleagues. We want to show off the fact that we just got their home sold. This is going to help us get buyer leads. This will help us get more listings, and it's absolutely free. And again, this is one of those things where if you're new to Listings to Leads, you may feel a little bit uncomfortable. You may think it's kind of odd that you would have the seller do this, but I promise you, sellers absolutely love it. And again, you can get so many great free leads from this. So here's what you do. You're going to click send a seller. You're going to drop the seller's email and name, and you're going to click send. All right. Yes, send it. It will literally take you 2 minutes. Then you're going to click e-flyer for the e-flyer. All right. Again, send to seller. All right. That'll autofill from the previous one that we just did, but click send again. Let me go pick it out of my other browser. And this is the version that the seller gets. Now you're going to get a version addressed to you. So your version would say, like in my case, it'll say, hey, Scott, this email was just sent to your seller. And this is for the seller to put on their Facebook page. And as long as you did a good job, they're going to be more than happy to do it. And this is the e-flyer. Now, if you use this previously, which I hope that you did. So David, I don't know if you have that listing in your account already, but David, have you used this tool currently with your current listing? Do I recommend using a front Facebook page with generic real estate name? No, I would guess no. You can use, Scott Pierce at eXp Realty or whatever it is, or, Granite Bay Homes, right? That's the one I kind of like, using the location. No, I don't want to get too detailed. Like, for example, if I were to use Folsom Real Estate, well, that might preclude Rockland and Loomis and El Dorado and some of those other areas. So I want to have a Facebook page that, and people are successful doing it both ways. So it can be your name, all right, where you're promoting it, which is good. And then you could also do it where it's an area. So I've seen people do it both. All right. So David says, I have used this, but not in every status. I would use it in every status. Now there's not 100 statuses. And if you went from, for example, just listed and then you do an open house 3 days later, well, I get it. You wouldn't want to use it, right? Because it's a little bit rushed, but you definitely want to try to get this to the seller to use it a couple of times during the course of the listing. And in particular, of course, pending and just sold. My gosh, right? Pending for sure, because the seller is going to be excited and they're going to want to put it up there, but the just sold as well. So the seller will just take this, they're going to copy it, they're going to drop it on their Facebook page. And what you're going to want to do after the seller does that, so let me see here. If I I'll just go to my profile. So I'll pretend I'm the seller. And I'm going to drop that there. So once this is on the seller's page, I would come in and I would like it, right? I would come in and like it. I would leave a quick comment. So I would like it like that. And I would just say, hey, Scott, and I would tag him, right? This is me. Oh, there we go. Hey, Scott Pierce, thank you for your trust in our getting your beautiful home sold. It was let me just bring that up a little bit so it's easier to read. All right. And then leave a quick comment on it. That way, when their friends start commenting and their friends start liking it, you're going to get notified and people are going to click through. They're going to go to, let me see if I can, there we go, move it to trash. Otherwise, my family and my friends are going to start thinking I'm selling my house and they're going to start emailing me. So, but once that's on their Facebook page, go like it and go comment on it. And again, people are going to click it. They're going to go to the single property website. They're going to see all the great stuff that you've got on the single property website. They're going to, people will fill out the lead form on the single property website. They can get their home value. They can look at all your other listings and become a lead that way. So get that to the seller and the e-flyer as well. All right. So we looked at the e-flyer email, but it looks like this. All right. And again, when the seller sends us out, see, look at this, right? Awesome right there. So any of their friends that own a home, they're going to be looking at us because their friend used us. We got their friend's home sold. They can see in the e-flyer that their friend sent out, we got a 100-pound marketing plan. We sold it higher than the Zillow's estimate. So it is amazing free marketing that will help get buyers and sellers for you. Now, here's the thing. When you send it to the seller, like I just showed you, you are going to be CC'd. So you're going to get a copy of this as well. The seller is going to think you sent it because it's going to come from your email address. So call the seller up, just like you would when you send it at the other statuses. And when it's just sold, I would say something like, hey, David, Scott here, so happy we got your property sold. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. And I sent you something to put up on your Facebook page to let everybody know that we got your property sold. And I would love it if you could put that up there just so we can let everybody know we got your home sold. All right. And you got the email, if you could forward that out as well. Your seller is going to do it. They're going to be more than happy to do it for you. Make sure that you don't call them when they're literally in the moving truck, moving everything around. But this will help you get so many great free leads. And I've had people who started at Listings to Leads as a single agent. And this was one of the tools, as silly as it is, maybe to you, if you haven't used it, and just were able to help build their business from the great free leads they get from it. So make sure you use it. Make sure you follow it up with the phone call, like I mentioned, because that will make sure the seller doesn't forget about it. But as long as you had a good transaction with the seller, they're going to be more than likely be more than happy to do it. And especially if you did it when it was open house, when it was maybe just listed. So the seller is going to already be predisposed to doing it because they're going to know that their friends liked seeing it. They're going to know that it was something that was useful to help them get their home sold. And so they're going to be more than happy to do it for you from pending and again when it was just sold. Steve says, where were you talking about going to change the text? Yes, Steve. Yes, exactly right. So right here under edit, just click edit. You can scroll down to the single property website. Go ahead, again, listingstoleads.com/just sold. You can access the two versions I've got, one for listing, one for selling agent. And feel free to copy what I have, right? Just copy it, paste it in there, edit it so it's more appropriate for what you've got. And then going forward, for every listing that you've got, that's both. I do the same thing at pending as well. So I do that change on the property description as soon as the property is pending, and then I update it when it's just sold, and then just use it going forward. All right, make sense? All right, great question. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Next up is the nearby homeowner letter. And before I show that, let me just show you here again under success stories. This is, so funny. I just saw something in a Facebook group where somebody was talking about they sent out 500 letters and they got some listings from it. And I was like, damn, I would hope that you would sending out 500 letters. But if you come here, 13 listings, and he only sends out like 100 or so at a time. So Corey here, when he's got a listing, he will send out that letter at just listed, and he'll send out again when it's just sold. So the nearby homeowner letter that I'm going to talk about and show you next, whether you door knock, especially if you just sold, right? If you got more time than money, I would door knock with this letter. What a great way to be able to meet the homeowners, talking about a property right in their neighborhood, how your 100% home marketing plan got it sold. You just want to give them an update. And so here's the information. I've actually gone door knocking before with a client a couple of months ago. Awesome experience. All right. Because when you got that letter and it's related to a property right in the neighborhood there, because, if you take 100 letters and you go door knocking with it, you're not going to get that far around the property. I think if you think of like the property is, here, it was probably within a 1 to 2 block radius, we'd covered 100 homes. So it's not that hard to do. You can also mail it. So Corey, what he does is he mails it out. The key with mailing it is you want to make sure it's in either a business, like the 8.5 by 11, not a full envelope, but like, the regular envelope, but that it looks like it was sent personally. So you want to do it with like a handwritten font, or even better, handwritten. I know that's very time consuming for a lot of people. So if you've got an assistant, if you've got a student, there's like a high schooler or a college student that you can pay to do it, or you could use Mailbox Power. They've got a handwritten font capability, Zaire Mail as well. right? Dustin Fox, one of our clients who wrote the book 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, uses Zaire Mail. There might be others that have a handwritten font capability. Another client, I believe, I don't think it was her, but if you scroll down, there's a lot of great discussion on this right here. I think her, yeah, it was somebody else maybe, but they had the letter. Actually, here. So imagine this is a letter. They just tri-folded it. So here's the letter, and they tri-folded it. Then they put a seal on it, right? A seal, addressed it, put a stamp on it, not even an envelope, and got a listing from it. So super easy to do, however you want to do it. So again, here's that nearby homeowner letter. There's 3 versions. I like the first version the best. It does sit in the editor. So before I do any kind of print and mail or download, I might click edit. And right, hello, hope you have a great week. I just want to let you know that 1015 Raleigh and Folsom just sold. You can get more information, price, photos by going to. Now again, I can put here, just sold. I can say in 34 days with our 100 plus point marketing plan over the Zillow Zestimate and at the highest price per square foot in the area or in Whitney Oaks, right? To make it a little bit more congruent so that they identify with it more. I can play with the formatting a little bit there. Now, don't add too much to it. One of the worst things that you can do with this letter is edit it so much that it loses all effectiveness, because what we want people to do is see the fact that you got the property sold, right? We are letting them know that their home value has been affected. They can scan the QR code. They can get their home value in no matter what they do, they got their capability to get their home value. So they can go to the single property website. They can send a text. They can scan the QR code. They can go to this website. It doesn't matter which one they go to. They're going to be able to get their home value update. You're going to, people will call you. They will email you directly off of this. So now I can click download. We got both JPEG and PDF formats. So depending on how you're using it. So for example, Mailbox Power is going to want a JPEG. If you're going to print it and mail it, or door knock, for example, you might use the PDF version. All right, look at that. Beautiful letter. We're letting people know. And you know what? I might take some of that out of bold. So it's just not, I don't like so much bold, but you get the idea. So take that letter. So David, take that letter. Now, I don't know if you want to door knock or mail it. We talk about mailing 100. You could mail 200. You can mail 300, but you want to use that letter. We do have the ability to print and mail right from listings to leads. The only issue with this one though is for the postcards and door hangers, that would be phenomenal. All right, that's no problem. But the vendor here does not have the handwritten font, I don't believe. And that's kind of critical for this, for the letter itself. And that's where, again, Zaire Mail, Mailbox Power, or if you got a printer yourself, for example, Corey was having such great success with it that he ended up buying his own printer and actually he bought his own folding and stuffing machine because he was having such great success with it. He was like, why am I, paying somebody else to print and mail? And so he's got the whole setup where it's in his office. Other people just print it and they'll have someone do all the envelope, or they'll do the trifold like I showed you and do it that way, and have someone just hand write it, because the more personal that looks, the more opens you're going to get, the more views of the letter you're going to get, and the more leads that you'll get from it. And again, if you door knock, one of the things that you should absolutely do, and I'm going to bring it up, and I always forget to bring it up ahead of time, but if you Here we go. When I went door knocking the other day with the client, we had these. So we had these little bags like this. All right. So Amazon for $10, right? The little bags like that. So, go door knocking and knock on the door. If they open the door, hey, I'm Scott Pierce, I'm a real estate agent. We just got the home sold down the street, and I just wanted to give you information about it. Our 100-point home marketing plan helped get it sold in 34 days over the Zillow's estimate. And you can either go to the URL, you can scan the QR code, and you can see the property video, all the photos, and get all the great information about it. And just so you know, the home values in the area have changed now that this property has sold. And, I'd like to offer you a free home value estimate, right? Have a great conversation with them. But if they're not home, what are you going to do, right? When I went with a client a couple of months ago, we hit 100 homes. I think 10 to 15 people answered the door. She actually talked to half of them, like literally had a quick conversation with about half of them. But for the rest of them, instead of leaving the letter in the mailbox or leaving it stuck in the door somewhere, we just trifolded the letter, stuffed it in the bag right there, and we're able to put it right on the door. So it's a much better experience for the homeowner to not have the letter sitting there on the door, falling all over the place, and they got to now go pick it up. But we do have the postcards and door hangers, and these work very similar. So we're letting them know that just sold, right? Very clean, very elegant. Here's the back of it. All right. So the back of it's, again, letting them know that this property has been sold. Their home value has changed. They can actually send a text or go to the URL. And so again, here. Now, with the postcards and even with the letters, if I was going to use, for example, maybe Thanks IO, Mailbox Power, you could even use a dynamic QR code so that as soon as somebody scans that QR code, you'll know who it was and have all the information available for them that you've got from the file that you use to send it out. So using a dynamic QR code can be great as well for this. But again, I like in fact, I would probably do both, right? I might do a mailing once, then I'll door knock once, but there's nothing better. And again, this is sales, right? And so in sales, the quicker I can meet somebody and have, even if it's just a minute conversation with them, or even better, a 5 to 10 minute conversation with them at the door, the more likely I am to get a referral, the more likely I am to do business with them when they're ready to buy or sell. And so to be able to door knock with that letter relating to a listing right in their neighborhood, that's going to go so far to help you get more business. We've also got circle prospecting. So this might be a great case where if you're using RedX or My Plus Leads or Prospect Boss, I believe there's a few others as well, where I can pull a list of homeowners in the area, make sure I skip trace it against the DNC. We don't want to call. I know some people kills me. Some people like, oh, I don't worry about the do not call list. Well, I do care about it. I don't want to get sued as an agent. I don't want to get sued, period. So, but circle prospecting, again, is another fantastic way to touch base with these homeowners. So again, get a list, you got RedX, you got My Plus Leads. I consider these investments because once I got that list, right, and I skip trace it, now I've got their email, I got a phone number, I got their home address, I've got probably other data related to them. And so if this is in a farm area that I really want to get more listings in, that's an investment I would absolutely make every single day of the week. And that way I can call them up. I got the script right here, right? Word for word, paraphrase, use it as inspiration. But David, for that listing that you just sold, the ability to start calling some of the homeowners in the area, and some of them are going to hang up on you. You're going to be leaving voicemails for some of them. But this is such a compelling message, right? Especially if you, as you see here, if you do it word for word, you're missing out on some of those edits I made to the letter and to the ad. So I would take this script, all right, get a list from RedX or My Plus Leads. If you're serious about getting more listings, call up, start calling through. even if it's just your cell phone. You don't need a 3-line dialer. All right, if you got a 3-line dialer, if you got Red X, they got a dialer capability in there that you can obviously use. But even if it's just your cell phone, it'll still work, because now you're calling up. It's almost like a service call if you think about it, right? You're not calling them up asking, can I sell your home and this and that? No, you're calling them up to say, hey, listen, a home down the street just sold. We listed it. Our 100-point home marketing plan got it sold. We generated 50,000 views. I got 200 buyer leads from marketing this property. So there's a lot of people that love your area. And I just want to make sure that you know that A, the property sold, and B, that we have a lot of buyers looking for homes in the area. So again, it's just, how can I create more conversations around the success that I had? And even if you sold it for below asking, even if it took 90 days, then just don't even mention that, but you still got the home sold. That is still something that the seller had to get done. So it is still a very positive message that you want to get out there. So use the circle prospecting script. And I see we're almost coming up on, I cannot believe it's already been an hour. I apologize for being so off. Now, we just did an update, and I'm going to make this update on a few of the other tools as well. So the e-flyer for your database, we've updated the text right here. So now it says 1015 Riley Street in Folsom just sold. We're thrilled to announce another successful sale in, and so that'll say the city. This home sold for top dollar thanks to a proven 100-point home marketing plan. View this home and access our 100-point home marketing plan here. So people are going to click. You can send this out through your CRM. You can send it out through follow-up bot, anything. You can send it out through listings to leads. So normally this right here is going to be down one or two more sections, but it's always right near the top. So we want to get homeowners in particular to our single property website, because again, they can access our 100-point home marketing plan. They're going to see if we did the edit like I talked about here. So they're going to see that. If we did a video, they're going to be able to learn a lot more about us by watching our body language, watching how we talk, all right? Get comfortable with us as a professional, and you're going to start closing a lot more deals. I mean, again, it's all about creating conversations, and we can't always be one-to-one, right? Door knocking, it's going to be a 2-hour investment to do 100 homes, because, most of them you're going to just leave it on the door, and that's absolutely fine. And then we're going to have a few conversations, and that's going to take some time as well. But it's a 2-hour commitment. All right. And, whether you do it in the evening, you do it on the weekends, I'm sure most of you have a couple of hours in the week to be able to do this. And again, that's something, open houses, that's just a gold mine. All right. Door knocking to invite all the neighbors to the open house, whether you're going to do a neighbor preview that you want to invite them to specifically, or just to the open house that you're having Saturday and Sunday, to invite the neighbors to the open house is beautiful. But, again, that's kind of a one-to-one kind of a thing. This right here, sending out the e-flyer, is a one-to-many, but with a lot of the benefits if you're doing the video like I shared with you. So to send that through listings to leads, click send now, select the list that you want to send it to. I would send it to everybody. Again, I don't know about most. Yeah, I think most. Most is over 51%, I guess. So most homeowners don't start out the home selling process by calling an agent and getting a home value and talking about selling their home. Most homeowners start looking at a couple of different things. They start looking at homes similar to theirs because they want to get a feel for how the market is doing, which is why that nearby homeowner letter is so powerful. But they also start looking at homes similar to the ones that they want to buy. So we could get a homeowner coming in on our listing that does not live in the area, but it's because that home is something that they're interested in seeing because it kind of fits the profile for the home that they want to buy. But regardless, most homeowners will come in as a buyer lead first. That's why I always tell people, if you want to get homeowner leads, always be marketing listings every single week, yours or borrowed, because those are the cheapest ways to generate seller leads. But a pending and sold listing is also one of the top ways as well if you're going to use these tools. So send it to all of your leads in L to L, and or copy code, go to your program like Follow Up Boss or whatever it is, and navigate to the editor where you type in and you do the email. But instead of typing in, you're going to copy and paste. So in Follow Up Boss, it's right here. Insert HTML, paste it in, that easy. I'm going to Follow Up Boss has this replace, which is kind of odd, but whatever. And I will mention real quickly, and hopefully this will get cleaned up tonight. But I noticed so look at that. Beautiful. This is going to link right to the Just Sold Single Property website. This is going to let them know that home values in the area have changed, right? Every time a home sells. And there's a little bit of extra code right there. So we'll get that fixed tonight, hopefully. But if you see something like that, just delete it. You're good to go. And then I can come down here, preview email. All right, looks great. Beautiful. And then send. So get that email out. All right, get that email out to I would send it to all of my leads, all of my buyer leads, all my seller leads, because again, some of those buyer leads in my database may be undercover seller leads as well. In fact, I talked to a client who I'm helping with some of his marketing, and he's had 2 listing appointments in the last couple of weeks off of buyer leads that came in that have a home to sell. So absolutely awesome. We want to make sure that we treat our buyer leads as potential seller leads as well until we know otherwise. Database call script. One of the most underutilized things I think out there is calling through our database with listings to leads. If you go to the marketing calendar, you have got database call scripts for every day of the week. So David, once that listing closes escrow, I want you to send out the e-flyer, and then I want you to call 10, 20 of your leads. Right now, if I'm going to call, I'm probably not going to call my straight up buyer leads. I'm going to focus on my homeowner and seller leads, but call them up, because again, this is a service call. This is an update call that we just want to, here we go. You're going to call your seller lead or a homeowner. You're just going to say, hey, David, Scott here at LDL Realty. And I just wanted to let you know that 1015 Folsom Street or 1015 Riley Street in Folsom just sold. I sent an email with a link to the property website that has all the photos and details. I just want to make sure you got that. If you didn't, let me know and I can send it to you, or you can text 37349 to 25678 and it will be sent to you automatically. Now, you'll know probably the address, and if they have an address and they live near the sold property, this is the one version of the script. You might say something like, your home's value has been affected by this home being sold, and because of that, I'm going to be preparing an updated home value estimate for your home. Is david@listingstoleads.com the best email to send that to? Does that make sense? So it is a service call. It's a did you get call. It's a update call. And we've got a next point of action that we're going to take. And we're just going to confirm their email address. And sometimes somebody shared this with me recently. Let's say it's a lead and you've never talked to them, right? You've never had any contact with them. Let's say it's david@listingstoleads.com. You might say, I just want to confirm your address. Is it david@leadstolistings.com, right? So to kind of mess up their email address a little bit, because if they have any interest at all in this, they're going to confirm back with you that you have a wrong email. So try the wrong email strategy when you're leaving a voicemail, or even if you're talking to them, right? And that might help get them to respond a little bit better, because people love to correct people, right? People love telling you when you're wrong about something. And so by just kind of messing up that email address, you might get them to respond back to you when they haven't responded before. Scott, you are the best. Appreciate your efforts in guiding us. Proud of you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Cindy, I love the idea yesterday you shared with Paste LLC CRM for all the tools. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Cindy, that is such a great thing, and I'll mention that here in a few minutes. But let's just wrap this up because I know everyone is pretty busy with everything. The short form video script. Why would you do this? Right, and this could actually be the basis of the video that you do. So you can record. Right, the script is over here. All right. Hey, everybody in Folsom. Just want to let you know that 1015 Riley Street just sold. Now, again, this is a video. So think TikTok, think Instagram Reel, right? You're in front of the property, hopefully, and you're recording the video. So go through the script, right? Humble brag a little bit about your marketing, right? Here's an example that you could use. Very similar to what we shared in the property description where we flipped it from the buy side to the sell side. Similar to what we did in the nearby homeowner letter, similar to what we did in the e-flyer for my database. So we're going to humble brag a little bit about how we got the property sold. And then we're going to let people know now that this home has sold that local home values have changed. And if they would like to get their updated home value estimate, that they can either DM or comment below or send a text. Now, when you record videos, typically you can save it. The default will be to save as vertical, but in most of those programs, the teleprompter apps or whatever you're using, you can also save it as either a square or landscape. So oftentimes you might be able to actually reuse the same video, both on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, but then save it as either square or landscape and then add it to listings to leads like I shared with you. All right. So, load it up to TikTok, load it up to Instagram, load it up to Facebook, but also load it up to YouTube, grab the URL, and then you can put that URL into listings to leads. And, we got the listing flyers. When the property is sold, and David, tell me if I'm wrong, but, the sign writer, I'm a massive proponent of. I think sign writers are one of the biggest things that most people leverage badly. All right. Your sign writer is such a lead gen source. But once a property is sold, right? Sold, you may not be able to put that on the yard sign because the yard sign is coming down. That's why I make a big deal about this when the listing is pending to make sure. So, David, you said Friday. It's only Tuesday. David, if you don't have the sale pending with the sign writer like this, and you hear me talking about this in other webinars, that clear plastic flyer box with the listing flyer in them, and those neighbors are walking by and they see sale pending and they see the sign writer like this. And check this one out. You've all got this in your account. If you don't see it in your account, get with our support team. But this is awesome. This right here, anybody wants to try it, go ahead and try it. And what this does is it trips off a conversation automated via text. So if you send a text to that 888 number, it's going to roll through, or it's going to roll through this whole conversation. You got their phone number first, so you don't need to ask for the phone number, but it's going to ask them for their home address. It's going to ask them how they want it sent, either snail mail or email. Then it's going to ask them for their email address. So it's a really phenomenal sign writer. And this is what I recommend to put on your yard sign when that listing goes pending. And if you can leave it up for a little bit after it's sold, obviously do it, right? Why would you take it down until you have to? So that is a great, great, great little way to make sure that you're absolutely leveraging that yard sign. And again, make sure you start that when it's pending, because I don't think for most of you that you can do it once a property sells. All right. Cindy, thank you so much. All right. Any last minute questions about anything related to just sold marketing, either as a listing agent or a selling agent? I didn't go through all of the tools for selling agent where you represented the buyer, but it works just the same, except that language I'm using around getting the property sold, it would reflect the fact that it represented the buyer. All right. All right. With that, so Suma says or asked about the lead gen signature. Go to your profile and obviously make sure before I show that your CRM, make sure your CRM is connected if you're using one. All right. We want those leads to go where they need to go. But I believe it's under account right there, lead gen signature. And yeah, I've never tried to use this in Follow Up Boss. I got to try it out and see if that works. Just never occurred to me to use it. So you got different templates to select. And it will be your logo, all your colors are right here. And then I can click copy for Gmail, copy for email, copy for blog. So the code's just a little bit different. Gmail, you can put it in Gmail. I did. I think, yeah, I got it in Gmail, and then I edited it a little bit where I added a Calendly link and a few other things. But essentially, my signature is this right here. You can put it on a blog. You can put it in your CRM. You can put it on your website. Clients have put it in the MLS, so their MLS signature has this with it, and you can customize it. So I can change the call to action. I can change where that links to. If you got your client review website, right? That's my client review website right there, automatically, right in my signature. And my all my reviews automatically come in from Google, from Testimonial Tree, from Zillow. All right, absolutely awesome. Here's my 100-point home marketing plan. Yeah, so that lead gen signature. I had a client a couple of weeks ago told me that they generated a lead from that signature. And she was excited because it was so random. She's like, I didn't have any clue, but she goes, when I talked to the lead, they said, oh, I just clicked that link in your signature. And whether it was a home value or the client review website, I wasn't sure where the lead, which one the lead came in off of, but the lead came in off of, and she was able to reach out and have a conversation with that lead just based on the signature there. So very, very cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, either get into the mastermind group. If there's something I can be of help with, I would love to help you out with that. If you have more of a support issue, so if you got an issue that's more support related, probably go with support. They're probably going to be a little bit quicker to get back with you. Sometimes I get busy and I'm doing a lot of different things, so I'm not in the mastermind group constantly, but our support team is available to help you out as quickly as possible. So get with them. And with that, have a phenomenal day. We'll talk to you soon.